So, I've been waiting about, like, probably my whole life, but officially, since this was considered, like, the Green Ranger project, we didn't even have anything. But I've been waiting since at least 2011 for this. And I finally got to see the Power Rangers movie. We just came back from the theater to see it. And I can say one thing, I didn't extremely love it, but I loved it.
It was good. Certain parts just seemed dragged out, I guess. Not even certain parts, just certain aspects of it seemed dragged out. Mm-hmm. The CGI and special effects in it were awesome. I definitely enjoyed that. The acting, which I wasn't sure if I would like or not, I actually thoroughly enjoyed everyone's acting. The actor who plays Billy, the blue Power Ranger, I really liked his acting in this. I liked his character in general.
He was funny. I wasn't expecting that coming at him.
Like, I went into this expecting the Red Ranger to be my favorite, like everyone, the majority of the people, and then I left liking the Blue Ranger more, which is new to me. It's different. And
so, as I said, like, everything about this movie, like, the characters... Yeah, but we'll get to that in spoiler.
Yeah.
So basically what it is these 5 teenagers, and I can't explain enough. Back in the show, like, whenever they said, Rita has escaped Alpha, you must recruit these teenagers with attitude. And it's just, okay, if by means, like, whenever you recruit teenagers with attitude, like, they all do good in school, and, like, they all do this, and they're all in, like, the special program, and some of them do kung fu, and, like, they're all, like, straight A kids. Whereas this, they make it very clear that, yeah, these are teenagers with attitude.
Delinquents,
especially the Red Ranger. I find he had a bit of an attitude.
They made him seem a little badder than I was expecting.
I find the Red Ranger is like, he's that kind of guy that isn't afraid to stick up for the little guy. Because as he did with Billy in, like, the classroom scene.
Now you're getting into spoilers.
That was in the trailer.
Okay, yeah.
I won't get into spoilers.
I guess.
I know. But basically, the story of this movie is what you thought it would probably be. You got your 5 teenagers, and they come together and they find these magical coins, and these coins give them superpowers. But basically, of course, they run into Zordon, and they say, yes, like, shit's going down. And you guys need to stop it, because you were the ones that found it. Fate said that you guys were going to be the ones to do it, so we got to trust it. And from there on, like, basically, it is an origin. If you go into this expecting, like, a Power Rangers origin movie, then yes, you will probably love this movie. But, like, I'd say there was a lot of...
If you're going into it expecting a Power Rangers movie, you're going to leave a little disappointed. And when I say that, I mean... the suits themselves, like what makes them the Power Ranger, what made the show the Power Rangers. There's just a little bit of a lack there, but that being said, whenever they get into it, you're hooked and you're loving it.
And it's just fun.
It's just not long enough for me.
This movie
I grew up with it like this fella did. I wasn't as into it. Like, I like the toys in the show, but I don't really remember the story and stuff.
What was I going to say? The fella that... There was a lot of stuff that I was expecting from this movie, but I didn't get. But this is obviously a setup for a franchise. Yes. And with that being said, I'm like, okay, so we can wait and we'll get that later, and maybe we'll get this and that.
But it's not like a Batman versus Superman.
This really, it doesn't feel like DC. It doesn't feel like Marvel. The movie did what I wanted it to do. This does feel like its own thing. Yeah. It really does.
And it is like Batman versus Superman in a sense that it is setting up future movies, but they just did it. They executed it so well that it's not going to be as bad as Batman versus Superman, obviously.
But like, as I said, with the whole thing with the suits and how people say, like, if you're expecting a Power Rangers movie, I think this movie, like, pretty well should have been called Teenagers with Attitude.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what the movie is. You do get like action throughout. Like I'm not saying like it's just like this one big movie of character building, and then we get like this epic finale at the end. Like no, there are some stuff that like your kids or whatever can enjoy through the movie.
There's also some parts in the movie that your kids might not enjoy hearing or seeing.
I find it's more so your kids won't understand
you can
at all.
tell that this movie was targeted for
the old school fans.
People who would be adults now.
Exactly.
It's definitely not aimed for the kids like the TV show was. But it still keeps the corniness to a point that it's not too corny. But even if it was too corny, it's the Power Rangers, so it would work anyway.
But other than that, the directing and the acting, it was all good. It was all there. There was one jump, whenever they were jumping, there was one jump that I thought, like, it looked a little, It was like whenever they were jumping, I think, between the mountains. Like whenever.
So are we getting into spoilers?
I think that was just a little bit.
I know that was in the trailer too, but...
But other than that, like, yeah, we may as well just jump into...
Anything from here on out is probably going to contain some
kind of spoiler. Yeah. So, like, if you didn't see the movie, just back off.
Or if you don't care about spoilers, you can keep watching.
Then yeah, hey, we're all ears, man. I may as well start. Rita, I didn't care for too much. I find Elizabeth Banks, she either overdid it or didn't do enough. I haven't figured it out yet.
I get what you're saying there. Like it seemed something seemed off. I couldn't really pinpoint it either. They really made her character dark, which it worked for her character, but to me it just didn't work for the Power Rangers. Like they made some scenes like you'd honestly think it was a horror movie, but it's a Power Rangers movie, so you're like, okay.
They did make her look a little creepy.
Which I like making villains seem creepy like that, but it's like they overdid it a little too much. Just for a Power Rangers movie, to me.
And with that being said, yes, the Zeo Crystal is in this movie. So, like, we're pretty well guaranteed a reboot. Like, maybe it'll be movie 3 or 4, but we'll probably get a Power Rangers Zeo movie in the future. Because that's one thing they never did. Another Easter egg I noticed was they're talking about Mariner Bay, and that's in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. I noticed that, and I was just like, oh.
And he caught, well, we both caught at the end of the movie, we both caught the Green Power Ranger, the original actor in the crowd at the end of the movie, but you also caught the Pink Ranger.
Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson, I think is her name. They did the cameo together, and I wasn't sure. I kept getting through the movie. I was like, well, we didn't see them yet. And then boom, they showed up.
The Green Ranger's clearly the Green Ranger. Even I could see that.
It's him, except for he's just much more big now. He's a great Jack now.
I have some complaints about the Megazord, just the look of him.
Guilty.
And whenever he becomes the Megazord, they all kind of fall in this hole, and then they come out the Megazord, and I was really looking forward to seeing them, like, suit up.
And, as you said, like, you were interested to see the Zords turn into the Megazord.
Yeah, like, I thought that would have been cooler than the fight itself, and they kind of just skipped past it in a fiery
it almost seemed like they didn't know how to make it look. I felt like the way I was thinking is they almost felt like we don't know how to make this look awesome without making it look like Transformers.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like anyway. But
and even the little Zords, some of them seemed awesome, like the Tyrannosaurus not the Tyrannosaurus.
The Mastodon? The black one or the
No.
The pterodactyl. Saber-toothed tiger.
No.
Which one? Which color?
I like the Blue Ranger's
Zord.
The
Triceratops.
Oh, so yeah. But then the Tyrannosaurus Rex seemed too big and bulky to me. I know you liked it, and it wasn't bad. It just something seemed off about them. But the Black Rangers, you couldn't even tell the whole movie. Anytime he was in this thing, you couldn't really tell what it was. He was in.
I've heard other people complain about that myself.
Which kind of bothered me a little bit, but I didn't really let that affect me. But the size of them was
that was my basic complaint about the Zord.
Even the Megazord, they're huge, but all these things are like really
they're
small.
in their Zords, and for example, Jason's in the Tyrannosaurus Rex Zord, and he's walking through the streets of Angel Grove and whatnot. But like some of these like small buildings, like just like a 2-story building,
Yeah.
are taller than the Zords. So I'm just like, I thought they were like supposed to be like big.
Yeah, and
like,
even the Megazord was huge. But like, if you
It
were to
didn't
look at all of
seem
them
like-
side by side, you wouldn't think all these little things would turn
made
to
that
this
big. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand.
I'll let him take it away with Goldar.
Well, no, but I don't like Goldar in this movie, but like, I just find if they were doing the franchise building, why waste Goldar like that?
Yeah.
Because he's been in like every series right up until Zordon dies.
They
basically,
could still
in
fix it.
in the show, Zordon does not die in this movie. I'm talking about the Power Rangers in space.
They could still do it. I don't know how, but they could still fix him. I believe they still could if they wanted to, and I know it might go a different route, especially with how the movie ended, but
Yeah, and another complaint that I had, another one that I picked out, Bulk and Skull were not in this movie. Like there was bullies in this movie, and they didn't even call them Bulk and Skull.
I didn't even notice that till you said that right now. I'm shocked that they weren't in.
Yeah, man,
I always
like,
thought
they
they were
weren't
a
there.
big part of.
They are like they were
They're a big part of the school life, which in this movie it would have been a big thing to have them in this movie, because this movie is a lot of character building for future movies, which, like I said earlier, they executed it excellently.
He said it like coming out of the theater. He said like the movie was good and all, but he's like, they're getting us ready, so the second one is going to be even better.
Well, you can tell just watching it that the next movie, it's going to start and they're going to be in the suits.
And the only character that they're going to be like, okay, we got to give this character... Spoilers! The post-credit scene, yes, we do get teased Tommy Oliver. And they're just like, so where's this new kid in detention? Like, Tommy Oliver, where are you, Tommy? And it pans over and you just see like a green jacket or sweater or whatever. I'm pretty sure he had a dragon on the jacket. So that's like a hint.
Didn't catch
That may have been a hint to like the Dragon Zord, of course, because that's obviously my favorite Zord / Megazord of all time.
And even the movie, it ends with the Megazord just smacking Rita up towards the moon, and you just know the moon base is up there.
Yeah, like I don't know how they're gonna do that, because I wonder if all Rita's minions are up on the moon waiting for her.
That would be cool. Before we finish, we should address Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston did pretty good as Zordon. I didn't like how he was kind of a dick.
Yeah. In the animation, they could have did it a little differently to me, just with his face. It didn't have to be those blocks, but I accepted it for what it was. But like he said, he came off like a kind of an asshole. Like, and he seems more friendly in the show. And another thing kind of goes hand in hand with him is Bill Hader.
I was just saying that. He did great, too. I was laughing at him a lot.
I liked him. Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the most annoying part of the movie. But to me, Rita was the most annoying part of the movie. To me. My opinion. But
I believe in the second film they should focus a little more on the Yellow and Black Ranger. Not a whole lot, just touch a little more with them, give the Green Ranger a little more story, and the next movie's going to be awesome. We're running out of time though, so we should probably rate it and then...
if I were to rate this movie, I'd give it a solid, 8 out of 10.
He's giving it an 8, I'm giving it a 7, so we'll call it a 7.5 out of 10. It would have been better if I seen the Rangers a little more, but that being said, I do like it for what it is.
It didn't take away from the movie.
I think this movie being a 7 out of 10, to me, is making the next movie be like an 8 or 9 out of 10, because there's less they got to focus on character building, and more they can focus on the stuff that we as fans want.
They did say that too, that the original cut of the movie was supposed to be 3 hours long.
And so this was about a little over 2 hours.
So they cut a good hour of story to.
And you can tell, especially towards the end of it, it plays out so long and smoothly, and then the last little bit just seems a little rushed. But overall, I rated it a 7 out of 10. He's 8 out of 10. So I'm buying it on Blu-ray when it comes out.
Oh, I may even buy digital and Blu-ray. I liked it. I was impressed. But anyway, though, guys, we got about 30 seconds left for the video.
We'll see Guardians of the Galaxy in May for 100% sure.
Yeah, well, we will.
Yeah.
But yeah, next month is probably going to be a little boring, guys. But other than that, take her easy. Trini may have been a lesbian in this movie. They don't 100% confirm it, but who cares? Take her easy.
See you later.